Beer here back in the Fantasy Bar Wednesday. That means NBA. 6 of my favorite plays ready for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including some games I really want to zero in on with some correlations. We found some matchups we definitely want to exploit here tonight. Some guys that have been on a roll that remain underpriced, and a favorite play I think goes absolutely ham once again tonight. Who we talking about? Time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Wednesday edition, Beers Daily Fantasy six-pack. Good to be back in the friendly confines here, talking some NBA. 6 of my favorite plays ready for you to go. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out today's video. Before we get into the plays, the housekeeping, the most important thing you can do today, click that thumbs up button if you enjoy the content. Greatly appreciate that, guys. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bells. Once again, NBA will now be moving to 3 days a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as long as we have good slates of games on those days. NFL six-pack season in the books for this season. Thank you for all your support over there. And 2 more weeks of pints and picks where we have gone 10 in a row on those NFL bets over the last 5 weeks. So make sure you are checking that out as well. All right, we're going to do a little experiment here. If you guys don't like it, this is your Fantasy Bar. As you know, FanDuel, DraftKings been doing different slates for the NBA. Normally been giving you 6 guys that appear on both sites. Tonight, we're going to have 6 DraftKings plays, 4 FanDuel plays. So we'll see how it goes. If the consensus is we don't like it, we will stick with guys that are available on both sites. But got some matchups I absolutely love over there on DK and some of the late games I did not want to avoid. So sound off in that comment section with your preferred setup here moving forward. This is your Fantasy Bar. So what you guys want is what we will do. All right, let's get into it though here. And we'll start with a guy that is available on both sites. We're talking shooting guard, small forward, Anthony Edwards. So Karl-Anthony Towns, huge game, historic game, highest scoring game for the Minnesota Timberwolves in that last spot. I think a lot of people are going to be excited about him here. Good matchup with Washington. I can't blame you, but are they going to overlook the great spot we get here for Anthony Edwards? And the Timberwolves coach came out publicly, was not happy with the way things went down. Like, they were looking to get Towns the ball. That's all they were focused on. End up losing that game. So when I say look for things to normalize tonight, what do I mean? Anthony Edwards, to me, the number one in this offense. I think we're going to get back to that with Karl-Anthony Towns playing more of a secondary role here. And Washington not only getting destroyed by bigs, also struggling big time against wings, both shooting guards and small forwards. This team allows the most fantasy points to both of those positions. So if we get a good matchup at potential low ownership here for a guy we know has massive upside, sign me up tonight for Anthony Edwards. All right, let's get you some value at shooting guard next with Sam Merrill of Cleveland. So Cleveland really struggling here. Again, Mobley, Garland on the shelf as we've seen over the last couple weeks. LeVert questionable here once again. Even if LeVert is able to get back for tonight's game, still like what I'm seeing out of Sam Merrill. If LeVert's out, that just raises the stock here even more. 9 straight games, this guy's going over 20 DraftKings points. So not an exciting number, but a nice bankable cash game floor. But what we've really seen over the last couple games, he has stepped up on the offensive end, averaging over 35 DraftKings points per game over the last 2. So now we're talking GPP ceilings that we can lock in as well. Matchup, fantastic here. The Bucks, bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed to this position. And the old revenge narrative. You guys know I love me some narratives. Sam Merrill started his career with the Milwaukee Bucks, going back to play his former team. I think he goes ham here again tonight. Fair prices, and a guy that's been red hot, Sam Merrill. Great value in the mid-range here tonight. All right, let's get you my favorite center for the night. We're talking Jaylen Duren of Detroit. So good news here for the Detroit Pistons. Expected to get Cade Cunningham back tonight, listed as probable. I think a lot of people are going to wonder, what's this going to look like? I think it affects Jaden Ivey, obviously, a lot more than it will Jaylen Duren. I think it actually helps Jaylen Duren in some of the ways Cade Cunningham can take attention away and deliver him the basketball. So good news here, and a guy that's been on an absolute tear, pretty much a double-double every single night, 14 in his last 17 games here. And this is a matchup with the Charlotte Hornets we have been targeting for years. We're going to go right back to the well on it here tonight. Only the Wizards giving up more points, rebounds, and fantasy points to this position here. I think we lock in a double-double, big-time ceiling upside in this matchup for Jaylen Duren. All right, let's go to the other side of that game with some correlation and another youngster I really like at shooting guard, small forward, with Brandon Miller of Charlotte. So Charlotte also dealing with some injuries here. Gordon Hayward going to miss once again tonight, amongst others. And we had the trade yesterday of Terry Rozier to the Miami Heat. So I think that's great news here for Brandon Miller. I think he's really going to start to take off, and we start to see that here over the last couple games. What I really want to focus on is the price. I think this is one of the best buy lows that we have right now. I think this guy ends up in the 7s. We're getting him in the low 6s on DraftKings, so take advantage while we can. And as I mentioned, the evolution already starting, 3 straight games with 23 or more points, and we know this guy is a scorer. It's kind of always been my concern with Brandon Miller is it's just points, but we're starting to see him step up in some other categories. The rebound, big rebounding game the other day, the assists, the steals, and that will add to his fantasy upside here. What will also add to his upside, a matchup with the Detroit Pistons, worst team in the league in defensive efficiency this season. Bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed to both shooting guards and small forwards. Buy low here while you can. I can't stress it enough. Brandon Miller, great option tonight against the Detroit Pistons. All right, let's get to our DraftKings only spot at power forward, Jonathan Kuminga of Golden State. FanDuel cut off the late games, but I really love this spot and I love this game, so wanted to get it included here. If you guys don't like the setup, once again, sound off in that YouTube comment section. Hit me up on Twitter at Beermakersfan. But if you're a DraftKings player, Kuminga, a guy I would certainly be targeting here. 24 points per game over the last 3. So really stepping up on the offensive side of the ball. That's led to 33 or more DraftKings points now in 5 of his last 9 games. And a great matchup here with the Atlanta Hawks, another team we are constantly targeting defensively. Bottom 5 in efficiency, 3rd most fantasy points allowed to the power forward position in Golden State. Going to be missing a lot of pieces here tonight. I think the roll continues here for Jonathan Kuminga. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for Wednesday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. All you got to do, click that thumbs up button and head to the comment section and guess fantasy points on DraftKings tonight. For my Beast of the Night, whoever's guess is the closest, we are going to give you an absolutely free week of RotoGrinders Premium just for hanging out in the fantasy bar. And while you're down there, not only sound off on the FanDuel DraftKings situation, but I also want to know who is your Beast of the Night. You could pick one player, narrow it down, and you're sitting here in the fantasy bar. Who is your top play? Sound off in that comment section. All right, let's wrap it up with my favorite play. You know, Matt's the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We're going to stay over on DraftKings in that late game. We are going right back to the well on point guard DeJounte Murray, my favorite play on the board in tonight's Beast of the Night. So once again, unavailable on FanDuel, unfortunately, but this is easily my favorite play, so wanted to highlight him here over on DraftKings, and I think he is vastly underpriced. No Trae Young once again tonight. This is a $9,500, $10,000 player in this lead role in this Atlanta offense without Trae Young. We are getting him at 8,400. Really showed us his upside in that last game, going over 60 DraftKings points. I think that's the tip of the iceberg here for what this guy can do. Golden State has been a disaster on defense. We're talking bottom 7 overall in defensive efficiency and bottom 6 in fantasy points allowed to the point guard position. Sorry, FanDuel folks, but DeJounte Murray, easily my favorite play on the board in tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Wednesday night 6-pack. As always, any comments, questions, or feedback, you know where to find me. Hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Also, you can follow me over on Twitter at Beermakersfan. Don't forget your guess for DeJounte Murray's fantasy points on DraftKings for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. And who is your top play? Who is your Beast of the Night? Sound off in that YouTube comment section. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck in the NBA tonight. We'll be back again on Friday. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck in the NBA tonight, and we'll see you on Friday.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist